second video on this channel. So last time we did comic book collection. I think this video is gonna be comic book collection as well, because there were some comics that I didn't show you guys, and some of the comics I bought recently. I think 2 days ago. I went to Barnes and Noble. I was in a mall with my sister because she had to do some shopping, and I went with her because the Christmas lights and everything. So I'm like, you know what, I might as well go as well. Excuse me, man. Okay, we're just gonna have to ignore my messages and stuff like that. Okay. So I went to Barnes and Noble, and there were like comic books on sale. They were really, really good. So I'm like, this could be fun. I could read them down the line for you guys. I'm gonna eat as well. I have some candy with me. I have some Jolly Rancher Chewies, and then I also have Lifesavers, sour gummies. So I don't know, people like packet noises. So let me open one up. I might have to edit this depending on how intense the thing is, because my gain is all the way up. So yeah. I'm just gonna drop it there. Okay. Let's open another one up too. So yeah, I bought one DC comic, and I bought, I think, 3 or 4 more Marvel comics. So we're gonna look at them, as well as some of the others as well. Wow. We're just gonna put it in this Lifesaver packet. 1 second. So, I do apologize if you guys can hear noises outside. I have my dad's watching TV. There's nothing I can do. So yeah. Alright. I really want to also make video game the video games that are coming out, my anticipated video games. I want to talk about the games that I'm most anticipating and excited about. So yeah. Alright. Let me show you my first comic of this video. Okay. So we have Catwoman. I bought this comic 2 days ago, I think. Well, when I went to Barnes and Noble. Dangerous. Liaisons. I don't know. Liaisons. So yeah, pretty cool image. This comic had some good reviews. They said that the art's really good in this one. I think there's like 4 issues or 4 volumes. This is the first one. I don't know why, but in my Barnes and Noble, they just only have volume 1s. They don't have like the full collections or whatever. I don't know how much I got this for. Anyways, let's read the back. I don't know if I'm gonna read all of this, but no. The cat is back in Gotham. Same Selena. Sexier everything. Like I said in my previous video, in my opinion, I ship Batman and Catwoman. And for me personally, I think Spider-Man and Black Cat are a good pair. Either Spider-Man and Black Cat, or either Gwen Stacy and Spider-Man. I never liked Mary Jane. I don't know. And that's an unpopular opinion. Maybe is with the dynamic artist Nico Leon. Spider-Man, Miss Marvel, and Bangle. Wow, these are all Avengers comic. Okay, that's pretty cool. Spider-Gwen, blah blah blah. To show Catwoman like she's never been shown before. This volume collects Catwoman number 39 to 44. Okay. But I think this is like a new setting for, obviously this is volume 1, so like, but maybe, yeah, I don't know. But I love the front page, it's pretty cool. And I think there's like 3 more. I think this is 4 volume in total. So, yeah, we'll read this at some point. Anyway, okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna show you my Marvel comics now. That's all for DC. And then I'll show you my Marvel collection. I think part 2, I guess. Because I think I already did one of the Marvel comic boxes. Okay. Now I've already read this one on my comic book on my previous channel. Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man Triple Treat. These are like short stories and whatnot. They collect like different adventures of 3 different characters and compile it into one book. I got this book a long time ago, back in junior high. I think I was in 5th grade. This was back in 2008, maybe 2009. Man, such a long time ago. All adventure, all action for all ages. So yeah, it just collects like different characters. So in this one we have Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. So yeah, we'll read this again at some point. So where do I put these? I think put them on the side. Okay. And this is another one that I've already read. Marvel Adventures, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hulk, and Iron Man. Triple Treat. This one's the same as that one. Again, this one I also bought at the book fair when I was in 5th grade. I think I bought this and that the same day. So yeah. You have Hulk eating pizza. This is, I think, excuse me, Tony Stark's mansion. I think I got this for cheaper than $6. But I don't really remember. Okay. So there's that. So now we got Amazing Spider-Man Blood Hunt. I bought this comic 2 days ago. When I bought the Catwoman comic, I saw this one at Barnes and Noble as well, and so I bought it. Spider-Man and Morbius. I like Morbius as a character in the comic books. Terrible film. Starring Jared Leto. I don't know, man. Jared Leto, it's one of those actors. Kind of creepy. I think he also has his own cult, I think. So, excuse me. So we got Spider-Man and we got Morbius. I always found Morbius as such an interesting character. He's a living vampire. Michael Morbius. He was a scientist, I think, and he became a vampire. My introduction to Michael Morbius was in the animated Spider-Man show. least that was the case for me. I don't know. Alright, anyway. Vampires are running rampant through New York City, while the Avengers are caught up in the middle. Someone has to take care of the citizens of the Big Apple. I wonder why New York is called Big Apple. I never got that. The person, Peter Parker, the spectacular Spider-Man, but if only things were that simple. They never are. And that means Spidey has a massive role to play in the nightmarish saga. One that involves Morbius, the living vampire, but will Morbius be fanged foe or friend this time? And will Peter need to take him out or save him? Meanwhile, the world's greatest vampire slayer, Blade, has a plan. And his only hope for victory rests with the young Spider-Man, Miles Morales. But Blade's mission comes with a massive cost Miles may be unwilling to pay. Oh my god, this sounds so good. I'm glad I picked this up. Collecting Amazing Spider-Man Blood Hunt 1 to 3, Amazing Spider-Man 2022. Oh, this is recent. And Miles Morales 2023, number 21 to 22. So this is a recent comic. Interesting. Okay, so we got Blood Hunt. Really cool cover. I don't want to open them. I want to keep them a surprise for when we actually read the comics. But yeah, I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments what comic do you guys want me to read first. Or do you guys don't care? Just then I can just pick one. I think we're gonna read comics maybe Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll see. I'm excited to read this one, man. This is gonna be fun. Okay. One of my other all-time favorite Marvel characters, Moon Knight. I loved Moon Knight, the TV show on Disney Plus. I recently just got Disney Plus, and it's so good. It has like all the Marvel, like the old cartoons and everything. So, yeah, anyway. This is Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood. Really, really cool image. No, I did read a Moon Knight comic on my previous channel. I got this comic with the other two 2 days ago. Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood. It looked pretty cool. I saw the inside a little bit, but it looked cool. That's like blood and stuff. I like Moon Knight. Moon Knight is one of those unhinged characters, kind of like Batman, but more bloody. Moon Knight has 3 different personalities. I forgot the names of those characters. I think one is Jake Lockley. You have what's the other one? The Mark Spector. I think Mark Spector is the actual character. The actual name of the character. I think he was like a mercenary or something. I think Jake Lockley really didn't get introduced in the show yet. I could be wrong, I don't remember. But there's I think Mark Spector, Jake Lockley, and then you have I don't know what's the name of the timid one. He has 3 different personalities, maybe even more. But the 3 that I am I understand that he has. Maybe he has more. We'll find out. This image is so cool. The black, red, itchy. So cool. I forgot the third guy's name. Oh my god, this is bothering me now. Anyway. What is this? A bevy of comicdom's finest creators put their mark upon the first of Khonshu in stories depicted solely in stark black, white, and blooded. Meet the all-different Moon Knight of the future and wrap your head around a tale of the mixed-up Marauder told in reverse. Moon Knight teams up with the ever-amazing Spider-Man for a harrowing night of adventure and seeks an odd favor from Doctor Strange. Moon Knight's four personalities, okay, so it's four personalities, okay, come together to debrief the events of the bizarre night, and Mark Spector's mercenary past comes back to haunt him. So he has four. I don't even know that. Okay. Alright. So we got this comic here. Interesting. This one I also picked up 2 days ago. This is a very famous Spider-Man comic. Probably one of the most famous Spider-Man comics in history. And you know, people have tried to make it like in live action. I know definitely the animated series Spider-Man took a lot of inspiration from this comic. And that comic is, are you ready? Spider-Man. I think this is Spider-Man Blue. Spider-Man Blue is one of the all-time well-known comics. One of the most saddest, I guess, I don't know if that's a word. One of the most sad Spider-Man story arcs. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale's Spider-Man. Very cool picture and image. So you have Gwen Stacy. I think this is a reprint. So you have Gwen Stacy and then you have Spider-Man swinging. Probably one of the very well-known comics. It's about remembering someone so important to me. I was going to spend the rest of my life with her. Yeah. This is the story of Peter Parker's first love, Gwen Stacy, a love he would never forget, but now has to learn to live without. Nothing ever comes easy for Spider-Man, and it's never truer than in this action-adventure story that is highlighted by the introduction of Mary Jane Watson, the wild redhead who would eventually win Peter's heart. The Listener Award-winning team of Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale's, creator of Superman for all seasons, Batman The Long Halloween, and Daredevil Yellow, retell the story of how Spider-Man fell in love with the girl of his dreams, never knowing it would become a nightmare. Collecting Spider-Man Blue, number 1 to 6. So that's the whole story. Yeah. This is gonna be a fun one to read, man. I never read this comic before, but obviously I've seen like animated shows and series based on this story. And yeah. So we're gonna read this at some point. I'm excited for all these comics, man. I saw this one in the store and I'm like, I have to get this. I don't care if I go in debt. I'm gonna have to get this one, man. We gotta have to read this his unquenchable thirst, scrapping desperately through each day, trying to trying to carve out a life in a world that turned its back on him. Morbius strives through hunger and pain for a shot at redemption, but when the line between hero and villain becomes brutally and bloodily blurred, his redemption may be worse than his sin. Has the midnight sun really changed? On the run and desperate to quell his vampiric appetite, Michael Morbius seeks the cure, battling the monster within to salvage his humanity. Collecting Amazing Spider-Man and Morbius the Living Vampire 1 to 9. Okay. This is, I think, one of the older comics by the art. So yeah, here we have Morbius's comic as well. Morbius the Living Vampire. So yeah. Another very classic story. We have Marvel Premier Collections Civil War. I mean, who doesn't know this story? They also made it a video game about this. I think it was Ultimate Alliance 2. I didn't really like that game. I prefer the original story, the Ultimate Alliance 1. 2, I didn't like 2. Anyway, but this story, I mean, obviously everybody knows about it. Captain America and Iron Man. You know, now that I'm older, now that I think about it, I think I would choose Captain America over Iron Man because I don't trust governments, man. No government official's gonna tell me who to save and who not to save, you know what I mean? I don't know. So when I was a kid, I was Iron Man's team. Purely because I liked Iron Man more, but now that I'm thinking about it as an adult, I think I would become a Captain America's supporter. I don't know what you guys think. Who would you choose? The blockbuster event that transformed the landscape of the Marvel Universe. I mean, I guess we all kind of know what this is, right? Pro-registration, non-registration act. Captain America was non-registration and Iron Man was pro-registration. I mean, I kind of understand where Iron Man is coming from, but still, like, I mean, giving your power to the government, that's like, I don't know, man, I don't trust the government. So yeah, this is the entire Civil War story. Yeah, right. And then we have, alright guys, I had to stop the video, man. There was like a fight going on. I'm so sorry. I apologize if you guys can hear the background noises, man. There's nothing I can do. Alright, anyways. So we have Spider-Man, Birth of Venom. Very iconic image. Drawn by Todd McFarlane. A very controversial Marvel artist at the time. I mean, he's the one who pioneered Spider-Man's big eyes, the webbing on the suit, Spider-Man and the Black Cat. One of another very iconic stories. I think this is one of the first Spider-Man stories that was actually kind of adult. It's kind of weird. When I ordered this from Amazon, it came like this, like a hardcover. I wasn't expecting this. I paid $18 for this. Considering this is very, very cheap and very good price for this comic. Like I know this comic goes for like about $300, maybe even more, in near mint condition. But yeah, this is hardcover. So it's kind of interesting. This cover is very interesting. I wasn't expecting it like this. Oh my god, guys, I'm so sorry. There's like background noises. Yeah, there's like nothing at the back. So, this is another story that I really love about Spider-Man and Black Cat. This is, if you can't tell, this is Spider-Man Evil That Men Do comic with Black Cat. I think this was a reimagining of Black Cat, a retelling of her story. And I think in this story, she's like, something happens to her in college or something. It's a very adult story. I honestly don't even know if YouTube is gonna allow it. I don't know. We're just gonna have to skip some of the dialogue in this comic. This comic is adult comic. You know, I used to own these comics a long time ago when I was a kid, but then my dad sold it in a garage sale. I used to have the individual issues of this comic, Evil That Men Do, and that was kind of funny because I was like 7 years old at that time, and my dad sold it in a garage sale. I was maybe in 3rd grade, 4th grade at the time, and I come back home and my closet is all empty, and I'm like, what the hell happened here, dude? And my dad's like, you're too old for the comics now, bro, just, you know. And he sold all of my comics for $1 each. I had the individual issues of this comic, man. That's so sad. Okay, anyway. Man, sometimes parents really get on your nerves. I'm so sorry. But yeah, so we bought this comic. I bought this comic from Amazon. It was on sale, Black Friday sale. So I was like, shit, let's go get it. Yeah. So we're gonna read Spider-Man and Black Cat, Evil That Men Do. Hopefully YouTube has no problem with it, because again, it is an adult comic, so it talks about some really heavy topics. But yeah. Alright, anyways. Another comic that I hear really good news about is this comic right here, The Amazing Spider-Man, Kraven's Last Hunt. I'm not a huge fan of Kraven the Hunter. I don't know, to me he's just kind of like a B-list character, but you know, I heard that this comic is really, really, really good, and somebody really recommended it to me. So I was like, okay, let's buy it. Here lies Spider-Man. Oh, okay. Interesting image at the back. Okay, the ultimate tale of revenge. Kraven the Hunter has stalked and killed every animal known to man. But there is one beast that has eluded him. What is this? Sorry. Eluded him. One quarry that has mocked him at every turn. The wall-crawling web-slinger known as Spider-Man. And to prove that he is the hero's master, he will pull on his costume and become him sees him 6 feet under. Wow, what the heck? This is a very interesting image up in here for Craven. Alright. This is a very, very, very highly reviewed comic. So yeah, somebody even recommended it to me on my previous channel, so I was like, okay, let's go get it. So yeah, we're gonna read that at some point. And then we have Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099. I think I already showed you one of the comics from this guy, Spider-Man 2099. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I didn't. Oh my god, there's another vampire story. Spider-Man 2099. Odds. Wait, what is this? Odds. The monster MASH in a horrific vision of the vision of the future. What the heck is this? The web slinger of tomorrow, Miguel O'Hara, must face off against the most gruesome adversary Nueva New York has to offer. Blade lends a hand against the zombie of 2099, seeking to stop an undead infection that threatens Miguel's mother. Oh, I don't know if he had a mother in the comic. With the moon under attack, Moon Knight 2099 needs Spidey's help against Dracula when a howling mad werewolf by night of 2099, oh my god, there's like all the monsters, is unleashed. Can Miguel withstand this cursed soil? Body parts fly as the new Terror Inc. strikes, and will Spider-Man turn at the touch of the nightmarish Man-Thing? A new breed of horror is unleashed thanks to these far-out future versions of some of Marvel's most iconic monsters. Wow, interesting. This would have been a cool comic to read in the Halloween, but I didn't read it in Halloween. So we have that. That's interesting. A lot of 2099 characters. Okay, and then we have Spider-Man 2099 Exodus. I think this is the first book in the story. Maybe they're different. I don't know, but maybe it doesn't matter which one you read first. My introduction to Spider-Man 2099 happened in the Shattered Dimensions game. A brave new tomorrow begins for the world of 2099. Okay. Right. And then we have Spider-Man 2099 Dark Genesis. A future filled with new heroes and villains. Okay. So this one has like Carnage, and 2099 is gonna fight it. Carnage and 2099, that's a very interesting. I wonder, when were these comics released? Let me actually check. 2000. So this is Dark Genesis, number 1 to 5. So I think it doesn't really matter which one you read first. I think there are 3 different comics with 5 different issues each. So that's cool. So you have those. Heroes 3. And then you have Moon Knight, The Bottom. I read this one on my previous channel. Moon Knight, The Bottom. Very cool image. I love the front cover of this book, and then you have Conjure at the back. Hero Reborn, Moon Knight. You have Moon Knight collecting Moon Knight 1 to 6. 1 second, guys, 1 second. Okay. So we have Moon Knight, The Bottom. Okay. I'm sorry, I had to do a lot of cuts and stuff because there's my parents are talking downstairs. I hope there's not too much noise, but yeah, anyways. Hero is Reborn. Very cool image. In the desert sands of Egypt, Mark Spector was savagely beaten and left for dead. His body wrecked with unbreakable pain. A dying man alone in the wilderness, at the very bottom of the world, alone until Khonshu came. The great god needed a weapon, an arbiter of vengeance on earth, willing to deal pain on his behalf to those who deserve it. The pact was made, and a warrior was born, Moon Knight. The knight had a new protector, and Mark Spector had a reason to live, a new possibility to find redemption, a new lust for a life and a sense of purpose. But that was so long ago. Now Mark Spector is faced with a question he has never had to recon with before. What happens when your God has forsaken you? The answer is simple. It's back to the bottom to relive the life and lives you thought you had left behind, to reincarnate the spirit of vengeance or die trying. This is the story of retribution, of a terrible, fearsome God, and the mortal chosen to serve him. This is the story of Moon Knight, collecting Moon Knight 1 to 6, written by best-selling author Charlie Houston. Okay, so this is part 1. I also have part 2 of this. So this is The Bottom. Houston is the writer, and then you have David Finch, who has a YouTube channel too, which I watch every now and then and try to copy his style. I really love watching Todd McFarlane and David Finch. I do every now and then look at Jim Lee as well. It's pretty cool too. And then we have Moon Knight, Midnight Sun. You have Captain America at the back, and then you have Moon Knight, which is, I think, a continuation of the story. One of the most intriguing comics event of the year. Hot thriller. Okay. job, and they're already coming out of the woodwork. The bad guys you expect, the gangsters and the hoods with old axes to grind, they all come with the territory, but the horses, them you don't expect, popping up to give you the eyeball and make sure you're towing the line. Their line, Spider-Man and his wisecracks, Frank Castle, the Angel of Death himself, telling you he'll be keeping an eye on you. Even the fugitive Captain America. So I think this is like taking place in the middle of Civil War. That's interesting. Captain America with a word to say about crashing aircraft into the sides of buildings in New York City. And now, this other thing, someone is out there. Someone hitting the old hunts. Scenes of the old crimes. Leaving messages, leaving bodies. Someone who knows you. Someone who crashes, steals, and pulls off limbs. And to get your attention, someone out of your league. So this is Collecting Moon Knight 7 to 13, written by Charlie Houston. So this is a continuation. This is pretty cool. So you have real name Mark Spector, code name Moon Knight, Tammy 6'2", 225, and then you have powers. Inactive, gains enhanced, endurance and reflexes at night. Okay, cool. This is part 2 of the bottom. And then I think this is part 3. One second. This is part 3 of Moon Knight, God and Country. Okay. That's pretty cool. Moon Knight has his registration card. So did he registrate? That's interesting. He's with the Iron Man. And he's gonna use it. The Civil War is over and the pro-registration forces won. Okay. Iron Man, newly installed director of S.H.I.E.L.D., has put the call. I guess that kind of spoils the story for the Civil War. He puts the call out to masked heroes everywhere. Get on the right side of the law and play by the rules. Amazingly, Moon Knight has answered the call. Okay, so he's with Iron Man. But playing by the rules has always been a hard part for Mark Spector and the Avatar of Khonshu. And now the city, whose streets are on fire with his vengeance, wonders how in the world did someone like Moon Knight get approved for registration. Iron Man is not waiting for an answer, especially since thugs, dealers, and gangsters everywhere are turning up dead with the shape of a crescent moon carved into their foreheads. In that, the calling card of the Moon Knight, or something more sinister. Ooh. Collecting Moon Knight number 14 to 20, written by Mike Benson. Punisher Max Annual, number 1, HBO. Entourage. With story plotting by Charlie Houston. Wow. So these are like 3 comics. So I have like the complete, I think this is the complete collection of the Moon Knight, written by Charlie Houston, which is one of Moon Knight's more popular runs, I think. There's another one which I couldn't find. That one's really cool too. And I got this comic book reading idea on YouTube from a creator named ASMR for Nerds, the name of that channel. He did a complete read through of the Infinity Gauntlet, which I also want to do a complete read through of that at some point. I don't have those comics, but maybe down the line I'll order them. I think he also did Civil War, and I think he did Deadpool and Carnage, which that would be an interesting comic to read as well, because I think Deadpool and Carnage are kind of have the same wavelength, and yeah, anyway. So please do let me know which comic you guys want me to read. I think these are all my comics for now. Please do recommend me some comics if you guys want me to read The Invincible. I do want to get into those comics as well, like the Invincible comics. I really love the Invincible show, and yeah, I would like to read some of those, but I mean, I have so many comics to choose right now and to read from. I think I'm gonna maybe there's another comic coming, I think in March or something. It's like Wolverine and Deadpool. I pre-ordered it from Amazon. That looked like a cool comic to read as well. The image was pretty cool. And I mean, a Deadpool and Wolverine comic is always a great comic to have. But yeah, Moon Knight. The only comic from Moon Knight that I've read was The Bottom, which I'm gonna have to do again, which is fine, but yeah. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed